Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Today is Sunday, June 25th, and this is episode 140. So welcome everyone to my little corner here for a little while longer. I have just one thing to show you and a couple things to share, and yeah, so let's get started. So on the island I have one sock. That's all I've been working on. I actually have a finished sock. So I have one finished sock and one probably almost finished sock. I'm on the leg. And these are out of another crafty girl. Oh, I'm getting this all tangled up. In her alpaca sock base, which I'm loving, in the I Can Fix It colorway, which is my favorite colorway of hers. And the pattern is the Directional Socks by Susie White of the Prairie Girls. And I'm knitting them toe up, so I've modified the pattern a little bit, but I followed the basic pattern. But it starts with this, like, I don't know if you can see that, point here, and it goes out triangle thing. And it's just knits and purls. In the beginning there's a little bit of cabling along the edge to make that nice clean edge. And the rest is just knits and purls. It's really simple. Once you get the hang of it, it just zooms along, and I'm loving it. So that sock is done, and now I'm on the second one. And yeah, this is all I've been working on. Because I already had the yarn wound, and I had a toe knit of one of them. And I had already picked this pattern, and so I just picked it up and went. Because I was like, these are easy to take with me to places, and yeah, so that's really all I've been knitting on. But I've got a lot of progress in the past 2 weeks. I've knit a whole sock and almost a second sock. I probably could have finished this, but I haven't been in a huge hurry to finish it, so I'm just enjoying it. Those will probably get done in the next few days. And that is it for what I've been knitting on. As I said in the last episode, the trick I've learned is that when I don't have it in a bag right now, I mean I do, but it's in the other room. If you roll it up, if it's small enough, you can tuck it inside the sock. It keeps it together and also keeps your pets from getting at it. It's great. But I'm just like resting it over here, and so I didn't want it to like fall everywhere. Anyway, so as I said in the last episode, we are moving in a few weeks, and so I've been trying to not like wind up a whole bunch of yarn or cast on a whole bunch of new things, just so that I don't have like a whole bunch of works in progress that I need to keep track of and move and things like that. So I've been trying to go through things that I already have wound or things that I have already had started. I finished some very old works in progress, as I showed last week. And I have a few more of those, and some of them are like designs that have been sitting for a while that I need to pick back up and work on. But they just take a lot of brain space and time that I don't have right now, but those will get worked on eventually. Yeah, so that's it for On the Island. Nothing set sail except for that one sock. Nothing from the mainland. I did order some things this week, so you'll see those when they get here. It was a pre-order, so you'll see when it gets here. But yeah, the de-stash is still going on, so please check that out in the Ravelry group. I've sent out a number of packages, which has been exciting. And I've just been taking the images down of the things that have sold, or put like things that are still, we're still figuring out shipping prices and all that. I put like pending and things like that. So I've been trying to keep that fairly up to date. So go check that out. I do have some more things to add, and I have added new things in the last week. So if you checked it out in the beginning, you can go check it out again and see what's left. Yeah, and as I go through things, I'll probably add and add things as I go. But that's the news there. If you caught the mini episode that I recorded midweek, I'm doing the second annual Friends Fraternal Sock Swap and Knit Along. And the details are all in that video, in that thread in the Ravelry group, which is Knitted Paradise Podcast. But I thought I'd share a little bit about that today. So what it is that I find you a partner, and you exchange enough yarn for heels, toes, and cuffs with each other. And then you knit socks that are basically opposites of each other. You can also exchange other things, but that's up to you and your partner. If you want to do the same pattern, if you want to do different patterns, whatever. It's pretty open. It's just a way to connect with someone new and bond over some knitting things. And I know last year a couple of the swap partners became really good friends, and I think that's really awesome. I mean, that was kind of my hope out of this, was for people to make new friends in the fiber community. And yeah, so that's that. You can sign up for that in the thread. There's like a mini episode thread, I forget, I probably called it Friends Fraternal Sock Swap and Cal second annual thread. So go in there and I think I put just say if you're interested, and whether you're or not, like where you live and whether or not you'd be willing to ship internationally. Those are kind of the basic questions, and then everything else you can chat with your partner about. So that's kind of fun. It's pretty open-ended. So go check that out. I think that's it for announcements. If you didn't catch last week's episode, we are in the process of buying a condo and moving in the next few weeks, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. So that's very exciting. Also, my parents are coming into town today. We're actually just kind of like biding our time before we go to the airport. We've got everything ready, and now we're like, well, now what? So it feels really good, and I'm like I zero anxiety, which has been great. Actually, for the past month or so, my anxiety has been really low, which has been fantastic. I've been keeping up with my daily exercise and eating well, and yeah, so that's been really good, and I'm really excited for them to come to town. And then my brother gets here on Tuesday, so my whole family will be here, which is exciting. The 5 of us, including my husband, were together last year at my cousin's wedding, but it's pretty rare for us to all be together at the same time. Plus, at the wedding, we were all really busy doing things, so we didn't get to spend a ton of time, just the 5 of us together, so that'll be fun. And yeah, so that's happening. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was some plans for my knitting. Since I didn't have much to show, I have had some knitting dreams, I guess if you'd call them that, just because I'm trying to not cast anything on, or trying to not acquire a whole bunch of new things. And so I've been having dreams of what I want to knit. And what I want to knit are some sweaters. I have some thoughts about knitting various sweaters. Mainly I've been trying to, I'm not saying I want to go a capsule wardrobe, but I do kind of want to minimize my wardrobe into something that, the things that I really wear and the things that I really enjoy. And I want to include more handmade things in there. And sweaters is a place where I think I could have some more. And because I have tons of shawls and hats and all that stuff, and socks. I definitely have a ton of socks. But I don't have a ton of hand-knit sweaters. And I don't have any lightweight hand-knit sweaters. I have one that I knit to wear to my cousin's wedding last year. The featherweight out of a lace weight. But in terms of an everyday sort of sweater, I want to knit just a neutral one that I can wear, especially in the spring and early fall. And I'd also like to knit a gray one. And I also want to knit one out of Batgirl colorway from No Makers. I've been thinking about that one for a while. I probably also want to knit one out of the I Can Fix It colorway from another Crafty Girl. And I just ordered, the pre-order that I made was to knit a sweater for my husband. that's exciting. And I also have a sweater on the needles for him that I started and I did swatch for, and I need to figure out that pattern because it's not working. I followed the instructions for like the setup row. I'm on the setup row. Like I did the cast on and I'm on the setup row, and I followed the instructions, and I'm ending up with like 15 extra stitches at the end of the row. And so I'm like, either I'm doing something wrong or the pattern's just confusing or I don't know what. But I've knit it like 3 times, and every time I end up with extra stitches at the end. So I'm going to probably contact the designer and say, okay, what's up with this row? It's really confusing the way it's written because there are things where like you do them certain number of times based on the size that you're knitting, and they're not always repeated. Like certain sections aren't. It's like do this certain thing, you know, it could be 0 times, it could be 4 times, it could, you know, it could be all sorts of things, and so it gets really confusing. So that's that, but I'm excited to knit that one for him, and I'll be excited when it's done. I figure once the setup row is done, the rest will be easy, because that just starts the ribbing, and then it's cables up the front, and so it kind of sets up the cables there, which will be nice. So those are kind of my plans right now. A lot of sweaters. I have a lot of socks, so I don't have thoughts for a lot of socks. I want to knit some for my husband's side of the family. My side of the family got a whole bunch of socks earlier this year, but his side of the family didn't yet. His mom has a pair of socks, but his siblings don't, and so they're going to get some socks at some point this year. And those are kind of my plans, and just kind of knit from stash mostly because I have plans for all of those. So I'd like to kind of make those plans happen. And so those are kind of my thoughts right now, and it's just going to be a really short episode, but I hope you all are doing well, and I hope to see you again in a couple weeks. Yeah, so my background may look a little different in a couple weeks as we start to pack and move things, but yeah, every couple weeks seems to work really well for me, so we'll see if we can keep on that schedule. All right, have a good day everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye!